Hello everyone, welcome back to VOWIAS. Welcome to the discussion on Vision Economy PT365. This is part 7 of the lecture series. So in the previous 6 parts we have covered the first 3 topics from this Economy PT365, and now we are going to start with the external sector. So this is the 4th topic in PT365 and we'll start with this. So let's begin fast. So in this external sector, the first one what we have is the news about the India's trading regime. So trading regime, if you see here, it is given that India has a trade deficit with 9 of the top 10 commerce partners. So trade deficit with 9 of the top 10 commerce partners, इसका मतलब यह है कि that with most members we have a trade deficit. So if tomorrow in exam if there is a statement with most countries with top trading countries India has trade surplus, if a statement is given like this, then this will be a wrong statement, because with most of its partners India has trade deficit. You can even understand this with the help of the current account deficit what we have. Okay? So if you see the global trends, India's merchandise exports, it has grew to up to 331 billion in 2018-19, and India's global trade share, if you see, it is less than 2%. Okay, it's 1.7% in 2018. It will remain almost same. It will not vary much, right? So see guys, these type of data you can even use in your mains answer writing. So just keep a close eye on these type of data, which will be very helpful for your mains answer writing as well, right? So here another thing given is that 70% of the exports are dominated by 5 states. So Maharashtra, Gujarat, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Telangana. So most of the exports are dominated by these 5 states, and especially if you see with US, we have a trade surplus. So you can say that's the major country only with which we have the trade surplus. With China, if you see, we have about 40 billion, more than 40 billion trade deficit. Okay? So China was India's top trading partner till 2017-18, but now US is India's top trading partner. Now let's move on to the next topic. So the next topic given is about the key measures what India has taken to improve its external trade. So here it is given that the midterm foreign trade policy of 2015-20, it was reviewed in 2017. The new logistic division was created in Department of Commerce to make sure that things become a bit easy and things move faster, things related to logistics. And the trade infrastructure export scheme, this is mainly to set up new industries for the exports. Transport and marketing assistance scheme, this is specifically for the agricultural products to mitigate high transportation cost, because if you see in India, the transportation cost, that is the logistics cost, is one of the highest in the world. So to reduce this for especially the products like the agricultural products mainly, okay, for that only this scheme was launched, the transport and marketing assistance scheme. Okay? So next one what is given is that the India's tariff profile. Okay. So India's tariff profile, if you see, 18% of manufacturing goods came to India in 2018 through duty-free route. Okay, so 18% came through duty-free route, and India's share of binding coverage is 74%, whereas it is for China, it is 100%. Now, what is this binding coverage? So this binding coverage is basically an indicator of a country's commitment to establish bound rates for imports and slowly reduce tariffs. So what do you mean by bound rates? Bound rates का मतलब ये है कि there is this thing called the MFN, the most favored nation in the WTO. So most favored nation doesn't mean we are favoring any country, but the meaning of most favored nation is that we are treating all the countries equally. And the bound rate, through this bound rate, what we are doing is, for all the MFN countries, we are keeping a similar type of, we are telling them that we are not going to cross this rate. All the rates what we are setting will be below that rate only, below the bound rate only, and not beyond this bound rate. Only the non-MFN countries can have the rate, that is the import duties and other things, beyond this bound rate. Okay? This is what is about this bound rate. So next here in this pictograph, you have the thing about the balance of payment. In the balance of payment, if you see, there are 2 components, the current account and the capital account. So this thing is similar to what we see in the budget, the capital budget and the current budget. That is the revenue budget. So current account is similar to that of the revenue account in the budget, and capital account is that of the capital budget. Okay? So if you see capital account, as the name suggests, the money inflows, the money which has flown for the creation of capital, like the FDI, FPI, ECB, external commercial borrowings, other things. So these are the huge capitals, huge money for the creation of infrastructure and various other things for investing. So इसको बोलते हैं कैपिटल अकाउंट. And current account, if you see, current account is nothing but the regular transfers what people will do, the regular money transfers and everything. इसको all these things, the small transactions, okay, small transactions between a small businessman and his counterpart, all of these things will come under the current account deficit. ठीक है? Now let's move on to the next topic. So recently one thing we have witnessed during this COVID pandemic, India's current account surplus has increased. So India's forex reserves have surpassed $500 billion for the first time. So if you see this thing about this forex reserve, why it is increasing? It is increasing because the imports have reduced. And also the price of the crude oil internationally has decreased. Okay, so because of these factors, because of these main factors only, the forex reserve has increased for India. The current account deficit has decreased. Okay, we are now into this current account surplus. Okay, so all of these things came into picture. So some of you might have a doubt. Okay, so we are going to, normally the forex reserve will increase only when the exports are more than imports. Yes, this is true. But India is a different country. India has different circumstances and situations. For us, imports are the one which cost a lot. Every time what we are doing is we are importing much more than the export, and most of the things what we are earning, we are paying them for the imports. The crude oil is one good example, you can say, and most of the manufacturing goods we import them. Okay? So that's why, because of this less imports, we actually were able to increase our forex reserves. So here it is given. So last time this much of current account surplus we have witnessed in March 2006-7. But after that, this is like only recently in 2020 we have witnessed this surplus. Okay? So the surplus here it is given is because of the contraction in trade deficit to up to $10 billion as the merchandise imports declined due to COVID-19. This is one another reason. So decline in import due to low crude oil prices, lag in domestic demand and global supply chain disruptions. So these are the main reasons for the increase of forex reserve for India. Okay, so this decrease in the deficit, current account deficit, is something that has helped RBI to pile up more reserves, to pile up more forex. Okay? And forex actually comprises of a lot of things. Forex comprises of the foreign currency, asset, gold, special drawing rights, IMF, special drawing rights of the IMF and reserve transposition. Okay, so all these comprise of the forex reserve. And among all these forms, the maximum amount is stored in, the maximum forex reserve is stored in the foreign currency like dollars or pounds. Okay? Dollars or pounds or euro. In these currencies it is stored. Apart from this, after this, the next highest form you can say it is gold. The maximum is stored in the form of gold. Okay? Because gold is not seen as something which depreciates fastly. So that's why it is stored in the form of gold. Right? Now we'll move on to the next topic. So here another thing given is about the tariff negotiation at WTO. So tariff negotiation, if you see here, why it was in news is India proposed to renegotiate the bound rates. Right? I explained you already what is a bound rate. So here you can see clearly, bound rate is something that is committed. This is the bound line. Okay, this is something which is committed by a country. In fact, so the country says that we are not going to charge for any goods which is imported from MFN country, which is the most favored nation country. Okay, so but the countries which are not part of this MFN status, which don't have this MFN status, for them, this bound rate can be breached. For them, all the import duties and everything, these duties can be beyond this bound line. Okay. So India now actually want to negotiate this bound line because this is mainly because India actually want to increase more of the domestic demand. So you can say domestic production, sorry, not demand. India want to increase this domestic production, and through Atmanirbhar Bharat, we actually want to increase domestic manufacturing, and also we are providing some production linked incentives also. So that's why we want to renegotiate on this bound line, because if we vary this, then countries will come to us, investments will flow to us. Okay, that's another reason. Okay. So next we'll move on to the next topic. So next topic is about this export preparedness index. So here we have to remember who released this export preparedness index, which organization released. It was Niti Aayog and Institute of Competitiveness. Both of them combinedly released this combinedly release this, prepared this export preparedness index. So actually the main aim, or you can say the main thing what this export preparedness want to do is that to enhance the competition among the states. This is mainly in line with the competitive federalism. Okay? So the competition among the states, if it increases, then the efficiency of the country as a whole will increase. And what it will do is it will identify the areas for export promotion at subnational level, that is at the state level. And the primary goal is to inculcate competition so that the states will improve among themselves. The state will ensure that they give the best deals for the companies to come and invest. Okay, and the primary goal is to bring favorable export promotion policies, to ease the regulatory framework, to make things easy for the companies, in fact, to create necessary export infrastructure, help identifying strategic recommendations, etc. And it also provide framework for continual assessment of the export readiness of Indian states and union territories, and intend to serve the rankings of states and union territories based on a score. So there will be an index which will track all the work that the states are doing, and this index will tell the states about their performance, about the areas where they can improve, and about all the things that the state want. Okay? And also it identifies various challenges and various opportunities that are there for the states to tap upon, because this is where this becomes very important, because the states will now know where they can enhance, or where they can become more productive, or where they can actually tell the companies to come and invest in which areas, right? And this structure of the EPA includes 4 pillars and 11 sub pillars. So the key findings of this report, if you see, India scored an average of 39 on the index, and both policy and business ecosystem, these two are the highest scoring pillars. Okay, and along with them, the export ecosystem, it is the least scoring. The export ecosystem is the least scoring because, as you know, logistics, this is one of the key trouble what India is facing currently. Because of the logistics cost only, our products have not become competitive globally. Now, if you see the ranks of the states are ranked based on various parameters. The states are ranked like in the manner of coastal states, landlocked states, Himalayan states, UTs, etc., etc. So the top 3 states in the overall ranking, if you see, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu. So if you observe, what this will show us is that the exports is actually closely linked to the development. The development is actually very closely related to exports, directly proportional to exports, you can say. Because if you see the states, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, so these 3 states, if you see, they are one of the top performing states in terms of GDP. Now, these states are pretty rich states compared to other ones. So the exports what the states are doing are actually very much in link, very much related to the development of the state, in fact. And the top 3 landlocked states, if you see, Rajasthan, Telangana and Haryana. Top 3 Himalayan states, Uttarakhand, Tripura, Himachal Pradesh. Top 3 UTs, Delhi, Goa and Chandigarh. Right? So this is the classification and these are the rankings. Now let's move on to the next topic. So here another important thing what the report has said is that India faces 3 fundamental challenges in the export promotion. See guys, this even you can use in your mains answer writing. Okay, directly you can use this. The export promotion index, actually this has said that India is facing these challenges, or these rankings what this report has said. You can even directly use these things in the answer writing. Okay? So what are the challenges what this index has said? The first one is the intra-region and inter-regional disparities in terms of exports. So there are disparities between different states. Even in the states also, there is disparity between the different districts. Like, for example, Maharashtra, if you take the Pune, Mumbai, so all these districts are very much developed, all these cities. But when you take about the South Maharashtra or some other districts which are there on the borders, they're not much developed. And poor trade support and growth orientation among the states. Poor R&D infrastructure. So R&D is a problem in all the sectors. Okay? So this export performance index, so how this is divided is, so the policy 20% is allocated to the policy, 40% is allocated to the business ecosystem, 20% to export ecosystem, and 20% to the export performance. Okay? So in this way it is classified. You can just pause and go through this once, okay, for your information. So the next topic, so the next one what we have is the various important indices. First one is logistics performance index, which is released by the World Bank. Remember, Every year in prelims we are getting a definite question on the index. One question every year is compulsory. So try to ensure that you remember all of these important indices. Okay. So logistics performance index released by the World Bank, and this is mainly to ensure to rank the countries in terms of logistics performance, how easy their logistics are. Okay. So India's rank is currently 44 out of 160 countries, and the top 5 are Germany, Sweden, Belgium, Austria, Japan. Second one, the trading across borders doing business. So this report is also released by the World Bank, and what it measures is the time and cost of logistic process of the countries. How fastly logistics can move in the country. That is the main thing. And in this, India scores 68 out of 190 countries. So the first rank is Australia, Belgium, Denmark, France, Hungary, Italy, Netherlands, and Spain. All these countries are rank 1. That is the thing. Next one, the Trade Facilitation Index. Trade Facilitation Index is released by OECD, and what it will do is it will assess the trade. It will assess the trade facilitation policies. Okay, this mainly focuses on the policies OECD and the areas of action, impact of the reforms. Okay, so it will assess the policies and it will also assess the areas on which these policies are impacting. And India's currently, if you see, India's score is 1.52, so it gives a score. And currently Netherlands is number 1 in this. So next one you have is the Enabling Trade Index. Enabling Trade Index by the World Economic Forum. So what it will do is it will actually measure the factors, policies, services that facilitate the trade across borders to the destination. It measures the overall trade infrastructure, you can say. And India is currently ranked 102 out of 136 countries. And the top 5 countries are Singapore, Netherlands, Hong Kong, Luxembourg, and Sweden. Right? So remember, Logistic Performance Index by World Bank, Trade Across Border Doing Business by World Bank, Trade Facilitation by OECD, Enabling Trade by World Economic Forum. Enabling Trade, World Economic Forum. Okay? Now let's move on to the next topic. So next topic is with regarding to various developments related to WTO. WTO, as you know, it's World Trade Organization, which was started in 1995. So this WTO, why it was in news is that India and other G20 members, like some, you can say a lot of G20 members, they have asked for relaxation in the TRIPS. What is TRIPS? Trade related intellectual property rights. So this is with related to the intellectual property. India is asking flexibility in the medicines, essential medicines mainly. So if you see in this pandemic, the medicines are one important thing that every country wants. So what India is telling is that the international trade norms or these TRIPS norms, they have to be eased, and the intellectual property rights, they have to be curbed upon, like especially on the important medicines, because the whole world needs medicines at this moment. If there are no IP involved in the medicines especially, then most of the companies, or you can say more number of companies will be able to manufacture important medicines in a generic way. If this can be done, then this is a good thing for the whole world, for the entire world. So India is asking for this flexibility, and currently India in its boundary, like you can say in its sovereignty, in its power, is using the flexibilities under Patent Act of 1970 for the public health and emergency purposes. India is currently using this. But if we have to use this internationally, if we have to export our medicines internationally, then the waiver has to be from the WTO, right? So such agreement will let countries to issue compulsory licenses and make generic copies of essential patented medicines. Now, what do you understand by compulsory licensing? Let's take a company A. Let's take a company like Pfizer. Now, Pfizer is manufacturing COVID-19 vaccine, right? Now, this Pfizer has a patent with regard to this vaccine. It uses a type of formula. Now, if we are able to break this IP, and if we can give this formula to other companies, like for example Ranbaxy. Ranbaxy is a generic drug manufacturing company of India. So if this IP barrier can be broken, and if somehow the formula can be given to Ranbaxy, now they will also be able to manufacture with a license these vaccines. They will be manufacturing them, and they can export also. So the government giving power to Ranbaxy to manufacture these vaccines, this is called as compulsory licensing. Because of the public emergency, the government is telling Ranbaxy, take this compulsory license. and do whatever you want, like not whatever you want, in fact do manufacture these medicines for us. This is what is the compulsory licensing concept. Okay. So now if you want to know some more about TRIPS flexibilities, I have just given here, just pause and go through it. See, compulsory licensing we have already discussed. Parallel importation means a country importing a medicine from another country. Okay. For example, here it is given, importing without consent of patent holder. Generally the patent holder has to accept. For example, in the same example I'll tell, if Pfizer has a patent and if Pfizer is not exporting that medicine to, for let's say South Africa and Pfizer is exporting the medicine to India. Now what South Africa can do, they can take medicine from India, they can take some part of India's share, they can do that. So isko bolte hai parallel importation. Next one is exemptions from patentability, exemptions from patent in simple words, and limits on data protection. Okay, so this is self-understandable. So just pause and go through this once, these flexibilities, TRIPS flexibilities. If you have any doubt, do comment in ask in the comment box. We will definitely get back to you. Okay. And guys, one small important information. We have considered the whole of economy. We actually made this summary of 100 page economy PT365 into 47-48 pages notes. Okay, if you want this summary, just go to our Telegram channel. There you can find it for free in the image format. But in case if you want in the PDF format, you need to subscribe to it, and the details are there in the description. You can also go to the Telegram channel and check it. Right? Now let's move on to the next one. So next one, here it is given about the TRIPS agreement. Like it's an old thing only. Just go through it once for your information, because if there is a statement with regard to the static part, like when it was established and something like that, you can answer it easily. And another concept what we have is the patent pooling. So patent pooling is very simple. Let's take company A, B. Okay, these two are companies. A has patent with regard to, let's take these two are mobile manufacturing companies. A has patent with regard to a screen, and B has patent with regard to a battery. Now what they will do, they will exchange their patents. Okay, exchange matlab here it is given, they'll have an agreement. In fact, they'll have an agreement where A will be able to use B's patent and B will be able to use A's patent. Okay? Now A can use battery of B and B can use screen of A, and both of them can manufacture their own mobiles. इसको बोलते हैं patent pooling. Two different type of patents combining and forming another type. Okay, इसको बोलते हैं patent pooling. Pooling, simple concept. Okay, so what this will do, this will speed up the developmental process. Because if a small development of another company can be used, in this example, if B can use A screen, because A has already mastered the craft of making screen, if B can use this screen technology of A, then B can save time and they can focus on some other things, right? And this patent pooling is now very important, because especially in the COVID times, everyone is looking for a medicine. Everyone is looking for a medicine that will work for them. So that's why this becomes very important. Now, so that's it guys for this lecture. I'll see you again in the next video. We'll continue with this external sector and finish in the next video. Till then, keep studying and stay tuned. And guys, here these are the initiatives of VOWIAS, the PT365 summary, Prelims test series summary, Vision mains test series summary, and monthly magazine as well we are providing. You can check the details in the description, and you can join our Telegram channel where you can find some more information regarding this, and you can check our quality as well. Right? I'll see you in the next video. Till then, keep studying and stay tuned. Jai Hind.